Hello everybody. Well, here we are today. I'm sitting here. We're fixing to put some crank seals in a 192T top handle. I might even pull the side of the muffler off and open the muffler up just a little bit. I ain't gonna do much because the fella didn't ask for it. This is just a saw that they use, like a regular saw. He doesn't run hot rod saws or nothing like that. But I know that I can open the muffler up on this thing and make it just a little bit louder and it'll run a little bit better. But what I want to do is keep it where it's not so loud, but it has a little more power for it. Hopefully the crank seals are going to take care of this. I've done a carburetor cleaning and stuff on it, I think, because he didn't know what was wrong with it, and we cranked it and it run, but it would not run right. I've already pulled the side cover and the flywheel off. Oh, I'll tell you about that in a second. You know, I kept saying I needed a new tripod. Well, what I finally done was I took this one apart and I cleaned it. And now all you have to do is just, I didn't just clean it. I actually worked on all the pivots and the screw locks and stuff that are just, they're just atrocious. Cause I mean, it's cheap. Don't get me wrong. They're like $30, and it's just atrocious the way they're made. But I went in there and me and a little file and a little bit of grease and some hand fitting. It's smooth now and it turns very well. Hopefully it'll stay that way for a while. The little locks, you turn them just a little bit now, they lock. Because what I went in there and lapped everything and fit it, so it works. It works a lot better. We're going to try to pop these seals out and put some crank seals in this thing. When I pulled the flywheel off, all this was wet around in here. So I think this is the one that's leaking. The bearing's not loose or anything like that. I think it was just the crank seal's bad, I think. So we're going to try to pull them out of here and see if we can't put new ones in it. Now, I don't know that I can do this. I think these just pinch in the hole when you put the bottom end together, and I'm going to attempt to pull them out. We'll find out. If not, then I'll have to pull the motor out of the chassis to disassemble it and change the crank seals. But I'm going to try to do it this way first, because what have I got to lose? Absolutely nothing. Try to get my little pick down in there, and it does not want to go in there. All right, let me get my other hickey. Hold on. All right, get my little homemade seal puller. I don't know if it'll take them out or not, but I'm gonna try it. I'm trying to keep it where y'all can see, but it's just such a mess. I need to fix this thing. I made it a little bit on the thinner side to get in here easier. And it sort of works, but it does require some specifics. And it just, y'all give me a second. I'll turn it where y'all can't see it, but you have to get the angle right. If the angle ain't right, you cannot get them suckers out. So there you go. I hate it when I can't do it where y'all can actually see it, but sometimes that's just the way it is when you're trying to film this stuff. I know it's a pain for y'all, but you get the gist of what I'm doing. I drive it in there next to the seal, but you've got to twist and rock at the same time. I got new crank seals here. These are aftermarket seals, but they're not like no name brand aftermarket seals. I actually got the seal size from the specs of the seal, and I went on and sourced a quality seal, and it was 192.970. Looks like they're 12 by 22 by 44.5, 12 millimeter inner diameter, 22 outer diameter, and 4.5 millimeters thick. That ain't no 22 millimeters. Ain't no way. Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see. We'll find out in a second. Yeah, it is too. Sure enough. Make me a liar. Yeah. Sometimes a liar, sometimes an idiot. Guess today we're just being an idiot. Y'all don't take it too personally. I think it's funny, so I'm okay with it. I give myself a hard time sometimes. Just put a little oil on there. Sometimes I put oil, sometimes I put grease. This one here I'm putting oil on it. See if y'all can see this. I know dang good and well you can't, because I can't. But there we go. Just gonna take the socket. It's going a little bit crooked, so I'm just gonna go on the high side. Come on now, get on up in there. If I quit hitting my fingers, I'd be doing good. There we go. Now, that's more better. A little bit more right there. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of brake cleaner and dry it off. That way, there's no oil on it. It'll be dry out here. That way, if we get it all put back together, we crank it and still have a running issue, and I pull the flywheel off, if it's wet, then I know the seal's leaking again. So sometimes I mess up putting seals on. Y'all don't think I'm perfect, because I dang sure ain't. Matter of fact, can't even find a nut that holds the flywheel on. Some things just walk around on the table and I have no idea why. Alright, there's that one. We're going to change the wheels on this chair before long. My wheels are just about worn out. Trying to get some stuff serviced up for the summertime. I didn't take everything apart, but I did take the side cover off, took the clutch off, all that stuff, because it was nasty. The saw was just filthy, and I took it outside and scraped it out with a knife and blowed it off before I come in here and started filming. Then I decided to fix the. See, it looked a lot like that. I'll show you. It looks like this. Yeah, this is why I tell people, service your saw, clean it up, sometimes pop this stuff off, give it a little cleaning out. It will make it last longer. It dang sure will. I'll pop the oiler off. See? Hey, can y'all see that pretty good? Maybe you can. Pop the oiler line off here. I said we're gonna pop the oiler line. I said we're gonna pop the. Yeah, we're gonna pop the oiler line off here in a second. Maybe. Get off of there. Ta-da! This seal here does not look like it's that wet, but nonetheless, I'm right here at it. There you go. Y'all can probably see that one a little better. But film seals is fairly hard. They're not the worst I've ever seen. But it had a leak for some reason, so this is where we're starting at. Because it acted just like crank seals. It would sit there and idle for a minute and then it would just blur. Now maybe you can see me drive this one in a little bit better. I'll put a little oil on it just like before. Smear it around on there. Try not to get it on the outside. Just gonna put the socket on there. What we'll try and do is drive it in there until it looks pretty well flush and flat. That one went in there pretty good. This one went in a little better than the other side. I don't know why they do that. They just do sometimes. Let's have a look inside this muffler tater while we're over here, shall we? We shall. See, these things are really, really terrible. That's all. It's like a two-directional change. You got two choices. You can cut all of this out and leave this alone, or you can mess up a little bit. That's a tough decision because I want to do both of them, but I know it'll be loud. But if it runs better, I think it'll be worth it. All right. Okay. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to cut this out a little bit. So y'all just give me a second. All right. No more little hole. Made her a little wider. I even opened it up in here just a little bit. Two of the baffles I opened up just a smidge. So we're going to screw this back on here because it's bent a little bit. It was like that originally. So we're going to screw that back on there. We're going to take the Phillips screwdriver. We're going to go right here in there and just kind of twist on the Phillips screwdriver, because if you use a Phillips, it seems to help straighten it up a little better. See, that's not bent down over here where it was before, not near as bad. So yeah, that's what we did. We're gonna pop her back on there, and hopefully this one won't break off like the 291 bolts did. So. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and put the oiler back on. Maybe the line won't be quite as hard to hook back up. I know it seems like I got 15 hands up in the way all the time, doesn't it? Now, Hopper, why do you keep putting your hands in front of the camera, what we're trying to look at? Because I can't work on it unless I do. There we go. Now, brown cow. Here. Maybe. These things sometimes are real. Oh yeah. Never mind. I figured it out. I didn't take that one little chain slider off. That notch under. Now remember, these are plastic screws, so if you, well, the screws aren't plastic, but they're holding plastic and in plastic, so if you're putting one of them back on there and you're using a gun, go real easy with it, so you don't strip it out and break it off like I do sometimes. Probably should have just left the clutch off of it, because sure enough, we crank it and rev it up, it's going to sling it off. Of course, we don't have to crank it and rev it up. We just need to crank it and find out whether it'll set in idle. That's the main thing. So hopefully it'll still crank. It's been setting for a while. We're going to at least fire it up, see whether it runs right or not. If it don't run right, then I might have to tear it all the way down or something, because it acts like it has an air leak. So gotta twist the gas cap on it. I must have put that on there. Alright, I heard it pull a fuel. So let's set the shock absorber and the oil catch back up here on the table. Alright, choke is on. Throttle is on. Boy, it far. In the world, I got so much compression I can't pull it. Let me get the clutch and put it back on there. We'll stick the bar and chain on it and see how it goes. We might go try it out. All right. I got the clutch back on it. The reason I went ahead and started before I got everything put together is I want to tell you why the clutch come off. I figured it out because I had it happen to me again. When I slid it up on there, the teeth of the spur engage in the oil pump pinion. I slid it up in there and I twisted it till it locked in. Then when I turned the saw over, went to tighten it up, the drum slid out. Because I just put it all back together and it done it again. It snugged up and the saw was tight. And I was like, what the heck? And I looked and I had intentionally sat there and lined it up. But whenever I went to tighten it, when I would spin it with the impact, it would... So I had to hold the drum in with my thumb, put pressure on it, and then snug it up. Now it's tight. So that's why it come off. So I wanted to show y'all that. That don't happen on every one of them. That ain't the reason but that's what happened on this one. So when you're putting that drum on, be mindful of that. So let's get the bar on. We'll go cut something. Yeah, that's strange. It does it with the bar on it, isn't it? want John out of the way. Alright, we're going back to the shop. I fixed the gap where I could adjust the high side. It was still not adjustable. But as far as it would go, I opened it up another quarter of a mile around. It seems to be doing fine now. It hasn't acted up anymore since then. Something must be leaking right up in under there. The intake looks great from what I can see, but let me do a little more research. I get done, I find it out, I'll let you know. All right, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Notice how that crank seal's wet? All right. That's why I dried it whenever we put it back on there. I thought it might be something under here, but I pulled it loose and raised it up, and I don't see a thing under there, even though I sprayed a little brake cleaner under there and it died. That's not really unusual because it could have pulled it in around the shaft of the carburetor. But there's something going on with this crank seal over here. The crank bearing is tight. There's no play in it whatsoever. But I don't know why it's doing that. I'm probably going to try to pressure test it. I'll have to get my rig out and set all that up though. So, oh mercy, we're going to stop for now. And when I get some other stuff, I'm going to quit filming for now, and then directly I'll pick back up. So, I'll bring you back. All right, everybody. All right, like I said, I'm done filming on the 192 for now. I fooled with it a little more. I didn't film any more of it. I took it back apart, and it looked like the lower end was like it had a leak down there on the left crank seal a little bit again. So to see if that was my issue, I gooped over it with some sealer and let it harden overnight, and I cranked it a little bit ago, and it seemed to run fine. So I slapped the bar and chain on it, went down there, sitting there running it, and started doing it again. I don't know if it's the carburetor or what. I richened the carburetor up as far as it would go, and it still would not run right on the low end. So I think I'm gonna order a carburetor for it and when it comes in, we'll get back to it and get it done. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. So y'all have a good day. God bless. Treat each other the way you want to be treated. Be kind. Bellhopper out.